Hey, I'm Jem, and what I do is simple. I help business owners get verified, pre qualified leads that are actually ready to buy. No fluff, no random lists, no maybe they're interested type prospects, just real people who want what you sell. I spent years refining this process, and along the way, I discovered something that completely changed the game for me and for my clients. Today, I'm going to walk you through that exact framework I use to close deals predictably. I'm not talking about theory or vague advice. I'm talking about the same process I've used to book back to back calls and turn strangers into clients faster than most people can send a follow up email. By the end of this, you'll understand three non negotiable steps that take someone from ice cold lead to happily paying customer. And here's the kicker: in the middle of this process is one question, a single line, a single moment. And once I ask it, 90% of my calls close. No pressure, no pushiness. The client literally sells themselves. Let me give you a quick overview so you know what's coming here. All right. What are you going to learn today? You're going to learn the pre-call deep dive. You're going to learn the one core question and the transition to the close. All right. These are three things that we're going to teach today. By the way, if at any point you're thinking, Jem, this sounds awesome, but I don't have the time or patience to do all of that, then keep watching until the end. I'll show you how you can skip the entire process and simply buy my pre-qualified leads. Yes, you heard that right. Leads that are already warmed up, vetted, and ready for you. All right, let's get into it. Now, before you even think about picking up the phone, booking a call, or sending that first email, you need to nail step one, because if you get this wrong, everything else becomes harder. The conversation feels forced, the pitch feels generic, and the client immediately puts you in the same box as every other salesperson they've ever ignored. The pre-call deep dive. Step one is what I call the pre-call deep dive. This is where you stop acting like a salesperson and start behaving like a consultant, someone who already understands their world. When a business owner realizes you know more about their business than they expected, they go from defensive to interested almost instantly. It changes the power dynamic before you even say hello. Here's how you do it. Step one, check their digital footprint. You're not just stalking them, you're not stalking them here. You're gathering ammunition for your sales call. All right. Look at their Google reviews, their LinkedIn activity, their recent blog or website updates, any social proof, awards, or customer testimonials. This tells you what they're proud of and what their customers complain about. All right. And then step two, we want to identify the gap. This is your leverage point here. You're not looking for everything wrong with their business. You're just looking at one specific thing they're losing money on. Maybe that is their ads are running but have no call to action. Their website loads slowly on mobile. Their reviews mention long wait times. They have followers but no engagement. Find the crack, and that's where you bed in your value. Step three, formulate your value statement. This is the line that makes them feel like you understand their business better than they do. Use this structure. I help specific business type by doing specific action tied to the gap you found. And here's an example here. All right. Let's say I'm targeting a local dental clinic in Austin, Texas. They've got a solid 4.8 star rating on Google, which is amazing, right? But when I dig deeper, I noticed the last 5 reviews mentioned the same issue: long wait times for appointments, and that's a silent revenue leak. So my value statement instantly becomes something like, I help high performing dental practices in Austin by doing a deep dive analysis of their patient booking funnel to reduce friction and capture leads who drop off due to scheduling delays. Boom. Now I'm not a random marketer, I'm someone who sees their problem. Now, here's the cool part: the pre call that deep dive opens the door but doesn't close the deal. Anyone can pretend to care, but only a few people can shift the conversation in a way that makes the client practically pitch themselves. And that's where the magic happens, because once you position yourself as someone who understands their business, you unlock the moment that changes everything, the moment where the client stops being skeptical and starts leaning in. So let's get into the one question that does exactly that. The core question. This right here is the moment of truth. You've done the warm up, you've shown them you care enough to do your homework, you've built rapport, demonstrated relevance, and positioned yourself as someone who gets it. Now, you don't want to keep pitching. That's where most people mess up. You want them to show you where the gold is buried. All right. And you do that with a single question here. All right. One question that flips the entire dynamic from you trying to sell to them trying to solve. Here's how you set it up. Number one, acknowledge the noise. All right, start by validating their reality. Business owners live in chaos, emails, fires, invoices, staff problems, new opportunities, old problems. So you begin with something like this. All right, look, I know you got a million things on your plate right now. This disarms them. It tells them you're not here to add pressure. You're here to simplify. All right. Step two, ask the question. Then, with zero fluff, you drop the line. If you could wave a magic wand and instantly solve one problem in your business right now, what would it be? This does three things at once. It forces them to prioritize, it bypasses their ego and usual defenses, it reveals the real bottleneck they wake up thinking about. Prospects lie about what they want, but they never lie about what's hurting. All right, step three, shut up and listen. This is the hardest part for most people. Once they start talking, do not interrupt. Don't jump in, don't pitch, don't relate, don't tell a story, don't try to be clever here. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. The moment they open up, you're no longer guessing, you're not pitching service A, B, or C. You're holding a flashlight over the exact pain point they're desperate to eliminate. And when someone tells you their real problem, they are subconsciously asking you to solve it, all right? Let me show you how this plays out in real life. All right. I was on a call with a small specialized manufacturing company in Detroit, Michigan. I came into the call ready to pitch my B2B lead generation service because that's what they initially reached out about. But when I asked the magic one question, everything changed. The owner paused and said, honestly, Jem, our biggest problem isn't sales. We've got more orders than we can handle. Our real issue is that we can't find reliable, skilled welders. We're losing contracts because we can't hire fast enough. All right. This is that single sentence reshaped the entire conversation. Had I pitched leads, I would have sounded clueless. Instead, I know I knew their true bottleneck, and that information, that clarity is like gold in sales. Because once you know what hurts the most, you know exactly where to position your solution. So here's the game changer. Once you've uncovered the real problem, the close is no longer about pushing your offer. It's about saying, "Hey, here's what I sell." It's about it's not about saying here's what I sell. Okay, it's about showing them how your solution eliminates their problem, the one they just admitted matters most, and that brings us to step three, which is the customized solution. All right, this is where everything comes together. The final step is to pivot your offer so it directly addresses the problem they just revealed. This is the secret to closing 90% of calls because you're no longer pitching a generic service, you're presenting their solution in their words to their problem. You're not selling anymore, you're prescribing here. All right. And here's how you do it. In step one, you validate their pain. Start by acknowledging what they said. Something like that makes perfect sense. That's a massive bottleneck. Validation instantly builds trust. Step two, reframe your offer. Take what you already do best, your core service, and wrap it around their problem. It's not about changing your business, it's about changing your angle. All right. And then we have step number three, which is propose the custom plan. Close the loop by giving them a clear, concrete next step, done for you campaign, pilot project, short-term deliverable, 14-day action sprint. The key is clarity. If they can visualize the next step, they will take it. All right, remember the Detroit manufacturing company? They expected a sales pitch. I could have stubbornly said, well, I only do lead generation, but that would have ended the call right there. Instead, I said, my team specializes in finding and qualifying people based on specific criteria. We can run a targeted campaign to find and pre-qualified skilled welders in the Midwest using the same data-driven approach we use for sales leads. We'll deliver a list of 5 pre-screened candidates next week. See what happened there? I didn't change my business. I changed the framing. Suddenly, I wasn't a marketing guy. I was the person who could solve the problem he desperately needed gone. And that's why I closed the deal. All right, let's wrap this up with a quick recap of the 3 steps that turn cold conversations into closed deals. All right, the 3-step system for closing more sales calls. Step 1, the pre-call deep dive. Come prepared, know their business better than they expect. This is how you shift from a salesperson to a trusted advisor. Step 2, the core question. Ask, if you could wave a magic wand and solve one problem in your business right now, what would it be? Their answer is your roadmap. And step 3, the customized solution. Present your offer as a solution to the exact pain point they just revealed. All right. Now let's go deeper for a second because this isn't just a script, it's a mindset shift. All right. Most salespeople are they're just out there throwing darts with their eyes closed, hoping something sticks. They pitch too early, they talk too much, they try to impress instead of understanding what the potential customer has and what the issues they deal with. What we're doing here is the opposite. We're letting the client define the problem. then positioning ourselves as the inevitable solution here. When you do that, you don't chase deals, they close themselves. And here's the best part. You can absolutely build a system yourself, implement it step by step, and start generating predictable revenue. Or if you're someone who's thinking, Jem, I get it, this is powerful, but I don't have the time to research leads, warm them up, and run these calls, then skip the hard part. I already do all this stuff for you. All right. You can buy pre-qualified, pre-vetted, ready to talk leads who already match your ideal customer profile. No guesswork, no cold outreach, straight to conversations that convert. The links are waiting for you in the description. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more real-world lead gen strategies, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. I appreciate you sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.